In the early morning of August 31st, 2025, an 82-year-old veteran woke up in tears after experiencing the most real dream of his life. What he witnessed in the heavens forever changed his perspective on the last days. This is the story of Marshall, a simple man who witnessed something extraordinary in the spiritual realm. Prepare yourself for an account that may shake your deepest convictions. If this message touches your heart, subscribe to Rapture Whispers and hit the notification bell. Share this video so more people can hear these anonymous voices of faith. Have a testimony to share? Send it to rapturewhispers@gmail.com. We guarantee complete anonymity. Now let's hear the story that a brave granddaughter decided to share on behalf of her grandfather. Marshall has always been a man of simple faith, a retired military veteran who raised 4 children with great effort. At 82 years old, he had never reported prophetic dreams or supernatural visions. That's why, when he called his granddaughter at 4 a.m. crying, she knew something extraordinary had happened. "My dear," he said with a trembling voice, "I saw things I cannot explain." In the dream, Marshall found himself in a large, open field, under a sky that began to darken in an unnatural way. Suddenly, he heard a sound he described as trumpets playing simultaneously, but it wasn't earthly music. The sound came from all directions at once, penetrating not just his ears, but his entire being. It was a call that echoed in the depths of his soul. But then something happened that left him speechless. The sky literally opened like a curtain being pulled. It was as if someone tore the fabric of the universe, he reported. A golden, brilliant light, purer than any light he had ever seen, began to descend. Within this light, he could distinguish a majestic figure dressed in white, wearing a golden crown. It was Jesus Christ descending in glory. But what impressed him most wasn't just seeing Jesus. It was what was happening around him. People began to rise from the earth toward heaven. I saw neighbors, acquaintances, people I didn't even know were believers, he recounted emotionally. They ascended wearing gleaming white garments, faces radiant with joy. It was Christ's bride being raptured before his very eyes. Marshall's voice breaks as he describes what happened next. A mixture of pure ecstasy and paralyzing terror, the ecstasy of witnessing Christ's divine glory, but the terror of realizing that many souls around him weren't ascending. I stood there," he whispered through tears, frozen, watching it all unfold, not knowing, would I rise too, my entire faith being tested in that sacred moment. It was then that Christ looked directly at him and spoke. September is the month of spiritual harvest. Ezekiel felt these words echo in his spirit supernaturally. It wasn't an audible voice, but it was more real than any sound, he explained. It was as if he was imprinting this truth directly into my soul. September. This month we are living through now. The dream continued with an even more impactful vision. Marshall saw the earth after the rapture. It was as if spiritual darkness had descended upon the world, he reported. There was confusion, despair, and chaos everywhere. People running aimlessly, seeking answers for the sudden disappearance of millions. I saw broken families, searching for their missing loved ones. Christ then approached Marshall and said, "Tell them that the time of grace is ending. September is more than a month. It's a sign." Marshall woke up at this moment, at 3:47 a.m., with these words echoing in his mind. "I've never felt anything so real in my entire life," he assured. "It wasn't just a dream. It was as if I had been transported to see the future." Marshall's granddaughter, who had always been skeptical about prophetic dreams, was deeply impacted by the account. "My grandfather has never lied in his entire life," she testifies. Seeing an 82-year-old man, always so serene, crying and trembling because of a dream, made me understand that something supernatural really happened to him that August morning. Days later, researching her grandfather's dream, the granddaughter discovered verses that left her speechless. In Joel 2:28, God promises, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams." And in Acts 2:17, Peter confirms that in the last days, prophetic dreams would multiply as signs of the end times. Researching deeper, she discovered that September 2025 marks exactly the Feast of Trumpets, in the Hebrew calendar known as Rosh Hashanah. This feast, celebrated in September, is traditionally associated with spiritual awakening and divine judgment. Could it be a coincidence that my grandfather dreamed specifically about trumpets in September? Marshall asked his granddaughter to share an urgent message. Tell people to prepare. Don't leave for tomorrow what they can do today with God. He feels a weight in his heart, a responsibility to warn others. I saw many people who thought they had time, but time ran out in the blink of an eye, he remembers with sadness. If you're hearing this message, continues Marshall's message, know that it's no coincidence. God is speaking through dreams because time is running out. He pleads, don't harden your hearts. Seek Jesus while he can still be found. Sincere repentance and total surrender to Christ are urgent in this September of 2025. This was the message that Marshall, an 82-year-old veteran, received in a dream in the early morning of August 31st. If this testimony touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to Rapture Whispers, turn on notifications, and share this video. Others need to hear. Have your own testimony. Send it to rapturewhispers@gmail.com. As Jesus himself warned in Matthew 24:36, but about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. But he also gave us signs to recognize the nearness of his coming. Will September 2025 be just another common month? Or will it be the September that Marshall saw in his prophetic dream? The choice of how to react is ours. Right now, as you watch this, September 2025 unfolds before our eyes. Can you hear them? Those same trumpets that shattered Marshall's sleep? They're sounding again, as a final warning. Stop scrolling. Stop waiting. Tell us in the comments, what signs have you witnessed? What dreams have stirred your spirit? Marshall saw Christ's bride ascending into glory. But here's the question that will haunt you tonight. When those trumpets sound for real, will your name be called?